समझ नहीं आ रहा अपने सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट का क्या करूं।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है, अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स के एसआईपी का टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
क्या समझ में नहीं आया?
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है, अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स का एसआईपी टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
अब समझा।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
अगर कोई भी हमारी हिंदू बहन बेटियों को या देश के अंदर किसी भी हिंदू परिवार को इस तरीके से परेशान करेगा या प्रताड़ित करने की कोशिश करेगा तो उसका इलाज कर दिया जाएगा। और सभी हिंदू परिवार को इसीलिए ही हम शस्त्र का वितरण कर रहे हैं।
मैं अपने हिंदू परिवारों को ताकतवर बनाना चाहता हूं, मेरी क्या गलती है?
What was meant to be a time of celebration, of welcoming a new year, of celebrating with family and friends, has been shadowed by a series of videos that capture the underbelly of ugliness, the ugliness of vandalism, of mob violence, and, dare I say, not enough repudiation of what is happening. India's pluralism, our diversity is our strength. It is what makes us approach a country like Pakistan and today's Bangladesh with confidence. We are not those countries. We are countries that are all embracing. We are countries that celebrate all our festivals. There are those who argue that it is social media that has amplified and distorted the sense of incidents of the kind that you see on your screen being more commonplace than they are. Maybe so. I acknowledge the fact that we are a country of 1.4 billion people. And indeed, statistically, I am confident that a majority, an overwhelming majority of Indians does not agree with what has happened in this Christmas to New Year season. But here's where we are. About an hour from where I am in the national capital, swords have been distributed in a housing society by a group called the Hindu Raksha Dal to avoid India becoming, quote unquote, another Bangladesh. A priest from the same area has said, Bajrang Dal, kya hota hai? We now need suicide squads like the ISIS. Christmas celebrations, of course, in different parts of India have been marred by self-proclaimed protectors of Hindutva. The Prime Minister sent a strong message by attending his first ever church service on Christmas. He has, of course, been meeting with Christian leaders in the past. But was Modi's message ignored? Do we need a much more strong spoken message from the government as well as spiritual leaders as well as the RSS? To talk about this lumpenization that we have seen unfold on our phone screens, certainly, but also in real life for those who have been at the receiving end, let me welcome our panel on the program today. Sandeep Ghosh is with us, political analyst, supporter of the Prime Minister, not always of the BJP. Welcome to the program, Sandeep. Tavleen Singh, well-known author and columnist, is with us as well. It's always a pleasure. Yashovardhan Azad, who's been a very senior police officer as well as a high-ranking officer in the Intelligence Bureau, is with us. And Rahul Ishwar, who is, of course, somebody who calls himself a Hindu activist, but who has condemned what is taking place in the name of Hindutva, is with us as well. Welcome, everybody, to the program. In fact, Rahul, I'll start with you. Ghaziabad in Uttar Pradesh is not even an hour from where I am. And in Ghaziabad, we have seen swords distributed in a housing society where the chief of this Hindu Raksha Dal, Pinky Chaudhary, is on the run, but being on the run hasn't stopped him from making videos that show how unafraid he is, how unapologetic he is. I'll play out that video in just a while. But he says he's doing this to stop India from becoming another Bangladesh. The police has made 10 arrests. The police hasn't accepted what has been happening. But the man himself is on the run. And this is only one in a series of somewhat crazy incidents we've seen in the last, I would say, week to 10 days. What do you make of it?
Barkhaji, two submissions. I'm a Hindu right-wing activist. As you know, I have gone to jail multiple times for fighting for temples, Shabarimala, and we have successfully fought many Hindu cases. As a Hindu right-wing activist, I would like to start by apologizing to our Muslim and Christian brothers regarding what has happened. The extreme Hindutva, there is a fringe in every community. The extreme Islamists are there, the extreme Hindutvawadis are there. So they don't represent us, and they have created such things which brings a bad name to Hindu community. For example, the best of Christmas celebrations happen on December 24th in Vivekananda's Belur Mutt, where the Hindu sannyasis in their saffron dress do arati of Yeshu or Jesus Christ and Mother Mary. Or we have Mahatma Gandhi, who is known for his Hindu-Muslim championing of causes. So there is an issue. And second, what is the issue? The realistic issue, let me point out this issue which is not addressed. The core issue is different. The core issue is, just like our Christian brothers have a Sunday, our Muslim brothers have a Friday, we Hindus don't have a Saturday satsang or a place of unity. Just because we don't have this sense of belongingness, our hardliners create a sense of other, sense of enemy, the politics of otherization, and try to consolidate us.
But Hinduism, if I may interrupt you briefly, first to appreciate your apology, but second, just to understand this idea of one day in the week a little better. Hinduism is not a single book religion. Hinduism is not a codified religion. Hinduism is not an Abrahamic religion. Different sects within Hinduism, different communities have different days that they regard as precious to them. In fact, some might say they have many days of the week. Some celebrate or mark a Tuesday, some celebrate or mark a Thursday.
Barkhaji, when we say that one person is everyone's friend, that means we are no one's friend. Similarly, when we say every day belong to us, it's just a euphemism. It's just a metaphorical way of saying that there is no genuine meeting, community gathering, or social gathering among Hindus. What really happens is sense of belongingness is being replaced by sense of otherness. This sense of otherness can be Muslim, can be Christian, can be communist, can be China, can be anyone. So the enemy is being actively created. For example, as you know, I'm a Modi ji supporter. 2 years back, Modi ji and Trump were the greatest of friends. Right now, our Hindu right-wing friends create a story that American deep state is out to get Modi ji. So we simply want an enemy on the other side. That enemy is to energize ourselves. This spiritual vacuum is the core. And that's the reason why we lost the father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi, due to Islamophobia. Out of Muslim hatred, God say, kill the greatest Hindu alive. So there is a deep spiritual issue, a socio-spiritual issue. I'll tell you just one more line. This is even happening in Kerala, where BJP is trying actively to woo the Christian community. One hardline Hindutva guy went and attacked a Christmas carol, who is actively a part of Sangh, who I really respect. But this sense of otherness is what we are trying to create. This sense of somebody is going to attack us. People are out there to get us. Hindu khatre mein hai. And I keep on telling our Hindutwadi friends, in a land of 120 crores, where is Hindu being khatre mein hai? But this sense of otherness is being injected through WhatsApp universities, mainstream media discourses, saying that Hindus are in danger. The reason being, we need an enemy to energize us. We need a sense of other to energize us. It can be Christian, it can be Muslim.
Who is the we? Who is the we? Who is the we here? When you say we need,
if I can be more precise, if the we is the Savarna Hindu community, the 15 to 20% of Indian population that includes me, who belongs to a Brahmin community, we are trying to create an active sense of other in order to consolidate the larger Hindu vote bank. See, this is what is happening in ground, and everyone knows it. See, everyone knows it. They are only differing in the psychological analysis. I am active as a Hindu right-wing supporter for the past 20 to 22 years, and they actively know it, because this is what we tell. And 90% of our senior leaders don't have any Muslim hatred. They pretend that they have Muslim hatred. For example, people like Sangeet Soom, they have been actively involved in even beef export.
Rahul ji, whether they are pretending or whether this is actual, this is complete madness, right? I'm sure you would agree that this is absolutely abhorrent, and it is complete madness, and it is diminishing us as a country. Our distinguishing feature in our neighborhood in particular is our diversity and our pluralism. And to see this nonsense, 1 hour from where I am, some man is distributing swords. I mean, I never thought that we would be sitting here and having this completely. I mean, I don't know, it's become almost commonplace.
And when a person like Modi ji is ruling, who we believe is Hindu Hriday Samrat, when Yogi ji is ruling, when we believe who is champion of Hindu causes, see, the issue is, why is Modi ji and RSS silent? Because they know, even if they effectively tell this, nothing will change on ground. Because
So
this
you're
is not a
saying
political issue.
the Prime Minister and the RSS can no longer control the far right base, Rahul?
Let me be blunt and honest with this. I'm the greatest of admirer of Modi ji, but neither Modi ji or Mohan Bhagavat ji can control this, because Mohan Bhagavat ji has gone on record saying that don't go searching for Shivalings under Muslim mosque. Even after that, Shambhal happened. Shambhal is a place where PM Modi ji himself laid the stone for a new Kalki temple. But some of our ultra right-wing friends, who I personally know, who follow me on Twitter, who I follow, they went and create a ruckus. So Barkha ji is missing the point. We are having a spiritual, socio-spiritual, if you don't like the word spiritual, let me call it socio-psychological problem, not a political problem.
Firstly, I have no problem with the word spiritual. I am all for spirituality if it connects people. I am all for religion if it connects people. I believe that cultural traditions should bring people together in a celebratory manner and not anything else. Now, Tavleen, Rahul Ishwar, as a fan of the Prime Minister, says the Prime Minister, the RSS cannot stop this. But certainly the police can. Certainly the police can, and the police should. And to be fair, in each of the incidents I've cited, arrests have been made. In the case, if we can show those pictures again, in the case of the Ghaziabad housing colony where the Hindu Rakshak Dal is distributing swords, 10 people have been arrested. They were arrested on the same day that these images were shown. But the man who leads this organization is not just on the run. He's making videos from while he's in hiding. I'm going to play out the video in just a moment, saying that he's not afraid and he did the right thing.
Okay, Rahul ji, with the greatest of respect, I want to tell you, you're quite wrong that they don't have anything to do with this. I actually did the first story about it, which was a message from the Vishwa Hindu Parishad saying, please, Hindus are not to celebrate Christmas. I did the first story in my column. And it was on the day that I wrote the story that the Prime Minister, it was just before Christmas Day. And the Vishwa Hindu Parishad is an offshoot of the RSS, as you well know, Rahul ji. As you well know, and the Bajrang Dal is the youth wing of the Vishwa Hindu Parishad. And the people, Barkha, who were wandering about, snatching the Santa Claus caps off, children and causing all this kind of havoc, they said they were from the Bajrang Dal. You don't need anybody to say it. Now, this has nothing to do with spirituality. It is a concerted attempt to erase pluralism in India, Rahul. It is a concerted, they are now in power. The forces that have created this anti-pluralism wave are in power, and they're using it to change the definition of the idea of a pluralistic India. They don't want pluralism. It bothers them. What you're right about is there's some kind of inferiority complex going on, and they want to take this very grand, very spiritual idea of religion and reduce it to a Hindu version of Islam. So do we want India to become Pakistan or Bangladesh? It is political. You're quite wrong that it's to do with anything to do, it's not social or anything. And these are not fringe elements. These are direct children of the RSS. They spawned them.
So let me ask you this. The Prime Minister attended a church service. If we can move to those pictures. The Prime Minister, his first church service, it's not unusual for him to wish people on Christmas. It's not unusual for him to meet with bishops and archbishops and Catholic priests and so on. But this time he actually participated in the prayers, tapped along with the carols being sung, Tavleen. It was, apart from everything else, clearly a message down the ranks. You did not see it as that?
Then why did he not condemn what happened while he was in church praying with the Christians? Why did he not? By then, the video of the blind lady being attacked by a BJP MLA, a BJP
not MLA,
MLA.
a district functionary. The
All right, but a functionary of the
district
BJP.
functionary. Yes.
All right. So let's not pretend that this is that the Prime Minister doesn't know about it. He actually condemned yesterday the attack on Putin's house, and we're not even sure whether that happened. But he could have stood up and said, I'm sorry, in the India that I am in charge of, this will not happen. They would have stopped in minutes. Mohan Bhagwat could have stood up and said, the Vishwa Hindu Parishad is one of our organizations, and I have told them to, pull back these people who are doing all this. He didn't do it.
Okay, before I get Sandeep and Yasho to respond, I want to play out the statement of Mr. Pinky Chaudhary. This is somebody who leads what's called the Hindu Raksha Dal, an hour from the national capital. This is the head of the group that distributed swords in a housing colony. 10 arrests were made. This man, the police could not arrest. They say he's absconding, but he continues to release videos on X and Facebook. This is one such video. Take a look.
भाइयों को जय श्री राम। मैं अपने सभी भाइयों को एक बात बतानी नहीं चाहता हूं। सुबह कार्यालय पर हमने तलवार वितरण किया था, उसमें उसके बाद करीब 250-300 पुलिस वाले कार्यालय पर आ गए। कुछ मेरे कार्यकर्ताओं को भी उठाकर ले गए हैं, ऐसी जानकारी मुझे लगी है। मैं आप सबको एक बात बता देनी चाहता हूं, जितने भी भाई हैं, मैं अपने हिंदू परिवारों को ताकतवर बनाना चाहता हूं। मेरी क्या गलती है?
So there are other such videos as well, Mr. Yashovardhan Azad, at least one other that I have seen. He says that what I set out to do, I have succeeded at. He's not disowning his role in the distribution of swords. And the police says he's absconding. It doesn't stop him. His account has also not been blocked. Even his account on X and Facebook has not been blocked. He's able to amplify these videos, and they're important to show because it shows that this man is not scared of the law. I was reading newspaper reports that show that he's had 26 cases, different cases at different police stations against him since 2006. So, I don't know whether politicians can stop these goons, but the police can and should. Mr. Azad.
Barkha, one of the ways of trivializing our criminal justice system is to register a huge number of cases just to be on the defensive, to show that the action has been taken, and then do nothing about them. For example, you're right that the police has taken action against these lumpens. For example, I'll tell you, but actually has the action been taken? Look at the case of Bareilly Cafe. If there is any information given to the superintendent of police, the police commissioner or the collector, that there is something like this happening in the cafe, the job of the police officer is to reach the spot, create hell by arresting those people on the spot and setting an example to the people, not wait for an FIR to be launched the next day and then go and arrest them as if, you're waiting for something to happen. So if you're not taking action promptly, number one, and number two, if after registering an FIR, you're not proceeding with the case the way you should by prompt investigation, prompt arrest, and promptly putting up to court, and also seeing that action in the form of punishment is given, then the action is incomplete. And that's exactly the reason why it is happening. Number two, why is it happening that enforcement of law is weak? Because you have compliant and supine officers heading the districts. I will tell you another thing. It's wrong to say that you get a political direction every time from a home minister or a chief minister or a prime minister not to act against gundas. No, they will keep quiet about it. If you take action, it is rare that action will be taken against the SP. But it's being more loyal than the king. Most of the people don't want to get out, don't want to prove
Is the police scared of taking action?
The police, no, some of the police officers are compliant. 30% of the police officers are excellent, committed, and that is how the system survives. But in places where this happens, it's extremely unfortunate how this lumpenization is allowed. It's a very simple thing which can be controlled. And that's another thing. Third thing, which, of course, Tavleen said, and Tavleenji said very rightly, that fine, the Prime Minister went, it was a very good gesture. But you think if the Prime Minister just gives one line, that this kind of plurality which we maintain in India must be maintained, and I expect the district police officers or district officers to take action. And then you see how everything moves into motion. These are very simple things which can be done even at the level of the district. But unfortunately, if not being done because they think being more loyal than the king improves their get-up in the services, then let there be one call like that, and you see how it transforms on the ground. So yes, that point I totally agree. And lastly, I'll tell you, today what is happening in our system is most of the bureaucrats, most of the netas just merely go through the routine, rituals of doing their politics or business. They go to office in good suits, they write files, and they come back, and they are, safe. Their career climbs. There is no incentive to do anything like that. So it's a deep problem which has to be addressed by the heads of the forces, by the heads of the bureaucracy, and also politicians in general.
And I want to cite what happened in Raipur before I bring Sandeep in. There, 7 Bajrang Dal linked men were denied bail by a Raipur court after the Magneto Mall was vandalized on Christmas Eve. Guess what happened next? You had 300 of the Bajrang Dal workers block a significant road outside the local police station. So there is all of this happening as well. Sandeep, I want to bring you in. Tavleen says that the attending the church service was good, but did not go far enough. Yasho says one statement from the Prime Minister, one statement from Amit Shah, even a written statement issued from the office of the Prime Minister and office of the Home Minister would at least be a cue to the police that they need not soft pedal on these issues. How do you see what's happening?
See, Barkha, first of all, I wouldn't even try to defend the indefensible. And that's why I was very confused by what Rahul Ishwar was talking about. I didn't know which way he was really going, whether he was supporting this or, he was criticizing this. But the most dangerous, or to me appear the most dangerous statement he made is that neither Modi ji or Mohan Bhagwat is in a position to control these things. If they said, he says that they wouldn't be taken seriously, then we are really in a very, very worrying times. If Mohan Bhagwat and Modi ji says, and if Rahul has an iota, I would say there is truth in his assessment, that their words would be ignored by this, then the lumpen are the so-called fringe elements, as we used to call them, they are totally out of control. Then we are heading to a very, very anarchical situation. But I would like to believe that's not the case. And that's not the case. And therefore, what Yashu was saying, well, that's a distinct possibility of people speaking, but without Mr. Modi talking or Amit Shah talking, if they are serious, word can go down the line and these things can be brought to control. And today, when you're talking of Raipur is again a BJP ruled state. Okay, UP is a BJP ruled state. So by keeping quiet, I think definitely a very, very wrong signal. If BJP today says that they even not even endorse actively but passively these things, then I would be, even as you said, being a Prime Minister supporter or in some ways sympathetic to BJP, I would be a very worried Indian citizen.
So you believe the BJP, you believe the Prime Minister or the Home Minister should speak on this?
Whether he speaks or not, I think it's very much within their control to pass on the message. They may or may not decide to speak out on that, but they can give the message out. It's not it may be not the right equivalence, false equivalence, but I know for a fact that at least in the beginning of the left front regime, when there was again a set of lumpen taking over in West Bengal, Mr. Jyoti Basu was very, very different. And he was the Home Minister, and wherever he wanted, he could pass a dictate. A lot of this changed later on in his regime, in the left regime after 30, 35 years. But during the first or second round of this thing, he could quietly pass a message down the line and things would come under control. So this is entirely possible.
What did you make of the Prime Minister's participation in the church service? And you did not.
I would think, it is hesitation is saying it's more of optics. It is good. I don't know what is it. At the same time, I don't doubt his genuineness. And that's the point I was coming to. My kind of Hinduism is not Rahul's kind of Hinduism. He cited the Ramakrishna mission. If at all I can say, I'm an ordained follower of the mission. And there I know what is Swami Vivekananda's ideal, and the Prime Minister swears by Swamiji's ideal. And if that is the kind of Hinduism he would say, I don't think in his lexicon of Hinduism this can exist. And I don't see past history of the Prime Minister that he has ever been in any format, whichever stage of his career, participated in this kind of activity.
I think you've made a really important point about whether you speak in public or not is less important. The important thing is to get a message down the ranks of the system of governance, right? Whether it's to district magistrates, SPs, DGPs, and so on. But I do want Rahul to respond, Rahul, because you're in a minority on this panel when you argue that neither the RSS chief nor the Prime Minister can actually control these lumpens, these self-styled protectors of Hinduism, the ones who have created this narrative that Hinduism khatre mein hai. I think Sandeep, Tavleen, Yasho are all questioning that argument of yours. Do you want to explain why you think that they can't?
Yes, let me respectfully disagree with the esteemed panelists who are very much more experienced than me. Let me point out 2 or 3 things. 2022, we were all happy that Mohan Bhagawatji came out with a statement saying that, you should not search for Shivling under every mosque. And those people who are trying to do it are trying to become leaders. It was a very reassuring thing for our minorities, especially Muslim community. But 2024, again, Kalki, Shambhal thing happened. Nearly 4 people, died in the police shootout, and even continuing things happen. The person, Pramodji, who came from Congress to BJP, then Modi ji went to his temple. He laid a Kalki temples, Kalki Dham there. But even then, Shambhal was a flashpoint. See, the whole thing, Tavleen ji is right when it says it's a political manifestation. But the political manifestation has a deeper socio-spiritual core or socio-cultural core. That core is where the issue comes. For example, Modi ji celebrates Christmas. In 4 to 5 months, Kerala elections are going to be there, where 18% Christian community is there, where BJP is actively trying to woo Christian community. So does anybody in the right sense will think up from the top of BJP, they will have some kind of agenda and attacking people? See, the point is, it's unlike, the left, the Hindu right wing don't have...
you're saying it doesn't suit the BJP politically with Kerala elections to see these attacks on Christians. So why is it happening? Why is it happening?
And more so, RSS itself has Isai Rashtriya Manch or a Christian Rashtriya Manch or a Muslim Rashtriya Manch. I regularly speak to people who are associated with them, and they are actually shy and afraid to even take a position because they know that they are being attacked. They cannot even air the view that they are being attacked. This is a deeper problem, and the solution is people like Mahatma Gandhi's line. Mahatma Gandhi actively engaged with RSS, where he went to the Wardha camp, where he again spoke to Sangh people. And Mahatma Gandhi said, whatever you are doing for Sangh, Hindus are great, but we need Hindu-Muslim unity.
I'm absolutely with you on the sort of Gandhian way of creating connections between communities. I accept that totally, but I want to ask you, when you say, how does it suit the BJP with the Kerala election coming, where there's a significant Christian population, how does this suit the BJP? Why then is the BJP not able to control its affiliates? Why then is the RSS chief not able to control affiliates?
The mothership is RSS, and unlike many people think, it is not a very well tight thing. When the Sabarimala issue happened, Barkha ji may know, a good part of RSS people disagreed with us on protecting the belief. RSS people was with, until Mohan Bhagawatji took a strong stand for Sabarimala, there were a great many RSS organizations who were saying that the woman entry can be there. It's a different debate. I'm just saying it's a Hindu diversity. Just like Hindu families, they are having a multiplicity of opinions. And even RSS has an affiliate called a Christian Rashtriya Manch or a Muslim Rashtriya Manch, where people, senior Swayamsevaks like Indresh ji is in charge of the Muslim Rashtriya Manch, and Pujaniya Sarsang Chalak has went out of the way to meet Muslim intellectuals. The point is deeper. The point is a socio-spiritual crisis that needs to be addressed. And
the crisis is what? Define the crisis. What is the crisis in one line?
The crisis is Hindu community doesn't have any unifying structure. So we are trying to create a sense of enemy. See, this is what happened to Guruji Goldwalkar earlier when he wrongly written Muslims, Christians and communists are our enemy. He later changed. He evolved the position. Guruji Golwalkar has really become a more center-right kind of a person. But Guruji earlier, even in his writing, has gone ahead and said Christians, Muslims and communists are our enemies. That kind of enmity attitude should be changed. For example, I'll take one more line. I have personally spoken to people like Pramod Mutalik of Ram Sena, and I have told them, see, this is not the line we should take. Sri Ram's greatest bhakti is Mahatma Gandhi, and Mahatma Gandhi's line is what we should take. So there is a socio-spiritual correction that should happen. Otherwise, why do you think Modi ji is not taking a stand? Kerala Christian Church is extremely agitated with Modi ji's silence. And the most important newspaper called Deepika of Christians strongly wrote an editorial criticizing Modi ji, saying that he is going to church so that he can show the foreign governments he is going to church. This is not my word. This is Deepika's word in an editorial. They said Modi
so you're saying the Prime Minister is being criticized by his own sections of his own base. Is that what you're saying?
The Christian, the BJP leaning Christian base is also offended because they cannot tell
both
anything.
Both sides, the far right Hindutva base and those who...
Just one more line. Modi ji is criticized in Twitter like not now, but Maulana Modi for a long time because he is trying to at least build bridges.
Okay, before Tavleen responds to that, you keep saying it's a socio-spiritual crisis. The point is, Rahul, I have heard so many people say how Hinduism is not an Abrahamic religion. It's not a religion of a single book. It is a diverse religion. People like Amish Tripathi have said even atheists are welcome within the fold of Hinduism. But then you have a Ghaziabad priest known for his hate speeches come out and defend this Pinky Chaudhary, Yati Narseganand. Guess what he's saying? He's saying the Bajrang Dal is also not good enough, in his words, good enough in quotes. He wants suicide squads. I am only playing out these clips because why are these men free to make these speeches? I want to know, why is this man not in jail? I do not understand. Please take a look.
हिंदू हृदय सम्राट पिंकी चौधरी जी और उनके कार्यकर्ताओं ने कुछ तलवारें बांटी है हिंदुओं में। ये कोई अपराध करने के लिए तलवारें नहीं बांटी गई। ये तलवारें केवल इस मंशा से बांटी गई हैं कि अगर कल यहां कोई बांग्लादेश जैसी घटना हो तो बेचारे हिंदू अपना बचाव करने का तो प्रयास कर लें। ये पिंकी चौधरी जी की और उनके जो मित्र, उनके साथी कार्यकर्ता हैं, उनकी मंशा ठीक है, इसमें कोई बुराई नहीं थी। लेकिन मेरा कहना यह है, जब बांटना ही था तो कुछ ऐसे हथियार तो बांटते जिससे जरूरत पड़ने पर हिंदू अपनी रक्षा कर लेते। कम से कम ऐसे हथियार तो बांटते जो आतंकवादियों के हथियारों से अच्छे होते। इन तलवारों से तो कुछ होने वाला है नहीं, लेकिन फिर भी हिंदुओं का मनोबल बढ़ाने के लिए पिंकी चौधरी जी ने और उनके कार्यकर्ताओं ने जो कार्य किया, ये प्रशंसनीय है। मैं उसकी प्रशंसा करता हूं और पिंकी चौधरी जी के साथ हूं। लेकिन मैं पिंकी चौधरी जी से ये कहना चाहता हूं, हमारे शिष्य हैं, हमारे शेर हैं, अब तलवारों से कुछ नहीं होने वाला। अब तो हिंदुओं को आत्मघाती दस्ते बनाने चाहिए।
Now we need suicide squads is basically what he said in the end. If I were to, sorry,
I mean, Barkha ji, if I can just use one word, just like our people are called urban Naxals on the left. These are the urban Nazis, the Ku Klux Klan of India, the extreme right who thrives on attention, and trust me, no action will be taken against him. Maybe he will be jailed for 1 or 2 days. See, these people regularly hate Gandhi, and he has made many anti-Gandhi speeches too. So there is a centrist line that we should take as a solution. Putting them in jail is not going to be a solution, and nobody is going to put them in jail too, because they will risk the Hindu credential. For example, Yogi ji will never take action. Otherwise, Yogi ji's base will tell that Yogi ji is being secular. Yogi ji is, Yogi ji coward ban gaya. This narrative will come. Or Maulana Yogi ji bhi kehlayega. So it's a complex issue that we need to study.
What is complex in this man sitting there and saying that we should have suicide squads? What is complex? He's inflaming communal passions. He should be arrested.
There is no reason for him to say that. And he is cooking up an imagining reason, saying that in Bangladesh something is happening. Yes, 1 or 2 unfortunate incidents happen. He is conflating that issue and trying to create a sense of insecurity. See, we see it every day in our WhatsApp group. See, this is only when national media, gets hold of it. I am at least part of 250 groups. Every other day, one or the other incident is, blown out of proportion or taken. And just one more line. Even when Honorable President of India, Draupadi Murmuji, came to Shabarimala, she went to the mosque inside Shabarimala and offered prayers. And the extreme right-wingers abusing her or attacking her because they cannot tell it outside. They were saying that even the president has gone the secular line. So there is a deep malice at work that is not a switch on, switch off thing that Modi or Mohan can do.
Okay, that is a more accurate, perhaps, way of putting it, Tavleen. Would you agree with that? That there's a malaise, it's a social malaise, and you can't instruct or you can't order it away. Maybe that's what Rahul Ishwar is trying to say. Tavleen,
I'm sorry, I do not agree, Rahul. I've always agreed with you on many things. Today, I don't know what's got into you, but I don't agree with a word that you've said. I don't agree with a single word. One, you are demeaning the great Sanatan Dharma by thinking that you need to, channelize it into some prophet and a book and all this kind of rubbish. Why do you want to diminish what is the only religion in the world that is sophisticated enough to say, question? You must question everything. In the beginning of the Rig Veda, he questions whether there's God and whether God knows what's going on. So, what you're doing is really worrying me because you're diminishing this very, very grand idea of religion. As for catching fanatics and throwing them in jail, this man, the one in saffron robes we just saw, he's the one who called for a genocide against Muslims. Do you remember? A few years ago. It's that same guy. Okay. Yeah. Now, fanaticisms and fanatics are a danger to society, whether they are Sant Jarnail Singh Pindranwale or whether it's these guys. And it is the business of government, the fundamental business of government, of elected officials and the unelected ones, to protect citizens against violent nuts. Okay? If they cannot do that, they have no business to be in office. No business at all. You're making excuses for what is inexcusable. And I'm sorry to say this to you, but I might be a better Hindu than you. What do you want? What are you trying to say? What are you doing? The whole point of plurality in India is because Hinduism is pluralistic. And you want to turn it into some little, suicide squad. I just don't. I'm horrified by what you just said. We don't have prophets and we question our gods. That is our tradition. And that is what we should be proud of and maintain. And the people who've taught that to the rest of the world are the Buddhists, which is why there's so many people wanting to be Buddhist and respecting it. You guys are going the other way. You're turning India into Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has changed, by the way. No, I'm sorry. This is not on. One is a matter of religious, fanaticism, and the other is just law and order. That's the fundamental duty of the government.
I think that's the operative bit, Yashovardhan Azad. This is about law and order. As far as I'm concerned, politics, religion, Gandhi versus Nehru, Ambedkar versus Savarnas, all of this comes later. It is law and order. You do not get to do a press conference where you say swords are not enough, you now need suicide squads. Can you even imagine, had this Yati Narasimhanand been from another religion? I mean, can you imagine how he would have been regarded? Why should this man be treated any different? Why is he not in prison? It is a simple law down. And are you telling me that the police of Uttar Pradesh cannot find Mr. Pinky Chaudhary to put him behind bars?
Well, I have always maintained that is the most important thing is the enforcement of law and order, which can be enforced absolutely without an issue. And that is why we are making these Bajrang Dal too big an organization than they actually are. They're a bunch of lumpens. But one thing I must say, that there should be no comparison between Bangladesh, between Pakistan and India. There is no comparison at all. There is a complete Islamist ideology meant to completely wipe out the Hindus, which is not there in India. I have no problem with people like Rahul Ishwar. In fact, I have the greatest respect for them. And also for the old RSS hand who were trying to, talk about Hinduism and talk about and explain Hinduism. I have no objection with that. Why? Because they are not dealing with bombs. They are not dealing with violence. They are dealing with ideology. The third point which I want to make it, yes, there is a lot of WhatsApp university which is creating stories. It's talking about Muslimization of Bihar, of the borders of West Bengal. And in fact, one of the BSF drivers rang me up the other day, and he said that he wants a transfer from the outskirts of Calcutta to Calcutta itself, because the Muslim population has moved into his village and the Hindus are running away. Now, these are things which are horrifying. It is because the law enforcement does not take place, that the collectors and SPs are not looking into this kind of a migration. They are not looking into the kind of ghettoization which is taking place in India. The problem is much, much deeper. And that is why the last thing which I want to say is Rahul is right that politically the BJP will be hurt if a statement will be made by Mr. Modi, because ultimately it is the Hindu vote bank, and for the other party, the Muslim vote bank, and that is why none of them talk about it, whether it's the opposition or whether it's the leading party.
But as you said, or somebody said, there's still a way to send a message down the system, right? You don't have to say it because Tavleen and Barkha and Sandeep say that you should speak. You just have to make sure your DGPs, your SPs understand it.
That I have already said, that the message can go down. But the point is, why should they send down a message? These kind of strange sins are okay. It creates a kind of a Hindu mobilization. And the people down the line, play supine. They only want to further their career. So nobody is interested. Either here or either there. It's not very different in Karnataka for that matter. It goes the other way, going out to do the appeasement. So, both sides win. The political side, which is only interested in votes, and the bureaucratic side, which just wants his career.
No, I want to say that it doesn't matter to me which faith extremism is perpetrated from. I would have the same revulsion towards any sort of commentary that shows hatred for the other. I think that should be the simple rule, whether it's a Muslim doing it, whether it's a Hindu doing it, whether it's anybody else doing it. Sandeep, absolutely. I want you to respond. You feel as a Prime Minister Modi supporter, you feel that silence is not an option. Both Mr. Azad and Rahul Ishwar seem to think that nothing much is going to happen, even to the Yati Narsingha nuns of the world. And what happens with nuisance value is it is precisely that. It doesn't reflect the will of the people. It doesn't reflect how India is, but it is nuisance value, and people then say, let's just avoid it here.
First of all, I disagree with, or I'd be worried from what Rahul said if Mr. Modi he is bothered about somebody calling him Maulana Modi, etc. Mr. Modi had tons of other kind of insults or names or heaped on him. For him to worry about being called Maulana Modi or even Yogi being called whatever, if that deters them from acting against what we are all calling lumpenism and this kind of fringe, then as Tadleen said, that is not governance. Mr. Modi could be worried about the farmers turning against him if there is a US-India treaty which is to their detriment, etc. But I don't think he should be worried about some fringe elements. It's not that the fringe element will get endorsed by the larger Hindu section. And again, I differ. Nalin Mehta's book, if you've read it, they had analyzed the BJP, contrary to popular opinion, does not rely purely on Hindutva or Hinduism. That could be the Hati ka Dant. They are actually much more, they operate on the welfare, people who are receiving the welfare, who are seeing progress, and the rest of it to unite. And this could be just the fringe. So I don't think Mr. Modi should be really worried, or even Mr. Bhagwat he wants this kind of Hinduism. Hinduism, if at all, endorses use of violence. It is like your nuclear thing, no first use kind of an element. I think this is being fanned with this whole stories about Bangladesh, etc., which is coming on our social media everywhere. So certain set of people, they see this as an opportunity to gain their prominence within their respective spheres. And this could be politically tricky, but if powerful leaders who really don't have to depend on this kind of vote bank, they can certainly resolve it. Unlike some of the example with Ashok raised, in certain parts, they are such a heavy vote bank. People are therefore they are not able to act. They have to act with kid gloves over there, etc. But this is not a situation in the majority, the largest parts of India, where you need to be worried about this sort of a thing. If indeed there was somewhere there was that kind of hostility, and there people say that okay, they're retaliating in defense, etc., people could have a view, but not in this kind of a proactive manner, just to provoke others.
Well, I will end it there with just saying one thing. Even when it comes to Bangladesh, all this nonsense actually diminishes your entire argument. I absolutely agree with Yashobardhan Azad. I'm not saying that we are like Bangladesh or we're like Pakistan, Mr. Azad. I take that point that there isn't some, crazy sort of sentiment in waves through the country. In fact, I'm confident in saying an overwhelming majority of Indians are repulsed by this kind of lumpen violence. That said, our diversity is not just our internal strength and the beauty of who we are, it is also what makes us different in the neighborhood, on the world stage. Even just seen through that lens, even when we go and we tell Bangladesh, look at how you're treating Hindus, we say it from a position of strength because of our diversity. And I think anything that undermines that spirit needs to be called out, needs to be shut down. I will have to disagree with Rahul here. I don't know about who can and who will. I just know that it must be shut down. Whether it's a Hindu or a Muslim, the othering of somebody else's faith, the invasion of their privacy, to walk up to women who are out, who may well be Hindu women, wearing Santa Claus caps in Lajpat Nagar in Delhi and heckling them and ordering them to go home. This is absolute nonsense, and there is simply no other word for it. Thank you so much, Tavleen, Yasho, Sandeep, and Rahul Ishwar, and to our audience. Thank you. And despite all this, a happy new year. It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.